Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Friday, so it's Return and Collecting Top 50 of all time. Today we're going to do number 19. So we're now into the top 20, which is really cool. This guy was one of the most dominant pitchers of his era. One of the pitchers that most big leaguers that played at the time would admit being scared to face. Super dominant, had one of the greatest pitching seasons in the history of baseball. So without further ado, let's jump into number 19. All right, so number 19 on the list is Bob Gibson. Here's his 59 Topps rookie card in the PSA 7. I love the pink, the Pepto-Bismol card. It's a great looking card. Here's the back of that one. I also have a autographed baseball Bob Gibson. It's one of the signatures that's actually legible, which is pretty cool. The last few signatures I showed are tougher to read. So there's my pieces in my collection for Bob Gibson. So Pack Robert Gibson was born on November 9th, 1935 in Omaha, Nebraska. He was the youngest of 7 siblings. His father, Pack Gibson, died of tuberculosis 3 months before Bob was born. Though he honored his father's legacy, he dropped the Pack and started going by Bob. Bob played baseball and basketball through his local YMCA as a kid. He attended Omaha Technical High School, where he played basketball and baseball. He received 2 offers to play basketball in college. First from Indiana University, which pulled the offer when they realized their Negro athlete quota had been filled. Real classy move. The second was from Creighton, which he accepted. He was a successful basketball player at Creighton, where he was also an All-American. Upon graduation, he was recruited by both the Harlem Globetrotters and the St. Louis Cardinals. He signed with the Cardinals in 1957, but delayed his start by a year to play for the Globetrotters. After some time in the minors, he made his big league debut on April 15, 1959. After a few lackluster seasons, Gibson had a strong 1962 season and was chosen for the All-Star team. Over the next 5 seasons, Gibson won 2 World Series and World Series MVP in both of those, but 1968 was his greatest season. Some say the greatest pitching season in baseball history. It was certainly the most dominant. Gibson had 22 wins, a 1.12 ERA, lowest in modern era, 13 shutouts, 268 strikeouts. He completed 28 of 34 games, and he was removed for a pinch hitter 8 times, meaning he was not replaced on the mound in mid-inning by any other pitcher the entire season. He dragged a mediocre Cardinals team to Game 7 of the World Series. Only Curt Flood hit over 300 that season with a 301, and Orlando Cepeda led the team in home runs with a staggering 16. In Game 1 of the series, he struck out 17 batters, which is still a major league record. Due to his sheer dominance that season, baseball implemented the Gibson rules, which lowered the pitching mound by 5 inches and reduced the strike zone height from the batter's armpit to their jersey letters. Gibson owned the inside on every batter he faced, but never once was in the top 3 pitchers and hit batters. He would scare them, but with control. Gibson would go on to scare the crap out of batters for another 7 seasons, retiring after the 1975 season as the greatest pitcher in Cardinals history. His awards include an MVP, 2 Cy Young, 2-time World Series champ, both times winning the World Series MVP, 9-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glove winner, and an ERA title. His single-season performance included leading the league in wins once, ERA once, complete games once, shutouts 4 times, including 13 in 1968. That's 3rd all-time. Strikeouts once, ERA plus twice, including a 258 in 1968, which is 8th all-time in MLB history. For his career, he had 251 wins, 2.91 ERA, 56 shutouts, 3,117 strikeouts. He was the second member of the 3,000 strikeout club after Walter Johnson. In the World Series, he was super dominant, as reflected in the following numbers. 7 wins in 3 World Series appearances, including complete game wins in games 1, 4, and 7 of the 67 series. A 7.78 win-loss percentage, a 1.89 ERA, 2 shutouts, 9 starts, and 9 complete games, 92 strikeouts, averaging 10.2 strikeouts per game. In 1968, he had 35 strikeouts in 27 innings and only gave up 4 walks. As a side, he was also a good hitter. He had a .206 career batting average, so about average for these days. 24 home runs and 144 RBIs. In 1970, he had 109 at-bats and hit .303, which would lead the league these days. Gibson was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1981. Upon retirement, he toured the western U.S. in his motorhome for a year. When he returned to Omaha, he became chairman of the board of Community National Bank. He was principal investor in KOWH Radio, and he opened up a restaurant. He returned to baseball as a coach in 1981. Mets manager Joe Torre hired Gibson as their attitude coach. That's fitting. He then followed Torre to the Braves in 1982 and was a pitching coach through 1984. From 1985 to 1990, he was a commentator for the Cardinals and ESPN. In 1995, he returned to coaching as the pitching coach for his Cardinals. Gibson passed away on October 2nd, 2020 from pancreatic cancer at the age of 85. Some quotes by Gibson include, "My pitching philosophy is simple. I believe in getting the ball over the plate and not walking a lot of men." "What are you doing here? Just give me the ball. The only thing you know about pitching is that it's hard to hit," when catcher Tim McCarver was sent to the mound by manager Johnny Keane. "When I knocked the guy down," well, there's no second part to that story. And my favorite, "When I gave up a grand slam to Pete Lecoq, I knew it was time to quit." Some quotes about Gibson. Barry Bonds, "I'll tell you what, if he hit a home run off Gibson and stood and admired it, he'd knock that earring out of his ear the next time up." Umpire Doug Harvey. Bob Gibson is the luckiest pitcher in baseball. He's always pitching when the other team doesn't score any runs. Catcher Tim McCarver. Hall of Famer Hank Aaron once counseled Atlanta Brave teammate Dusty Baker about Mr. Gibson. "Don't dig in against Bob Gibson. He'll knock you down. He'd knock out his own grandmother if she dared to challenge him. Don't stare at him. Don't smile at him. Don't talk to him. He doesn't like it. If you happen to hit a home run, don't run too slow, but don't run too fast. If you happen to want to celebrate, get into the tunnel first. If he hits you, don't charge the mound because he's a Gold Glove boxer." I'm like, damn. What about my 17-game hitting streak? Well, that was the night it ended. All right, guys. So one last time, we'll take a look at the 59 Topps Gibson, the Pepto-Bismol card. Super cool card. There's the back. And then there's that autographed baseball. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed number 19, Mr. Bob Gibson. Incredible pitcher, incredible player. Apparently a really good hitter, too. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with the ranking, also let me know. If you're subscribed to the channel, I appreciate your subscription. If you're not subscribed and you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.